My question is, so I'm in eighth grade right now, and there's a big like rat race going on to get into like the best high school. So is it good to be in a rat race, or should I like how should I balance like my like satsang and schoolwork at the same time?
All right, that's a very personal and a very pertinent question for you. What I understood of rat race, I'll tell you. I think race is important. When I say race, race means running with people, right? But being a rat in the race or being a lion in the race is totally up to us. I'll tell you why. I always found out that if I am running alone, maybe for 100 meters, on my best day, I would clock, say, 25 seconds or 30 seconds, right? But if I run with my friends, I am able to clock, say, 22 seconds or 23 seconds, right? So obviously, race helps me, right? And race helps me to clock better timing and better my own self because race helps me to understand how much potential I have. Generally, I think this is the glass ceiling or this is the limit. If I keep running alone, I would always think that's it. 30 seconds is the best I can give. But when I'm running with people who are really good runners, whether I beat them or not is secondary. Whether I turn up last also doesn't matter. But compared to my last running time to the current running time with my friends, that certainly seems to boost my time to a very significant level. So race is beautiful. It's called spardha. In our student life, spardha or competition is very important. Why? Because it will challenge us to stretch our limits. Now this competition has the word com and petition together, right? So com means together, right? It is not against each other. So when you run a race, the whole idea of a competition was everybody comes together so that everybody becomes their best self by working with each other, not working against each other or, uh, betting against each other. So here I think race is very important. Otherwise, we'll become very slothful. We think this is the maximum I can give. But when I have a group of people who are as good as me or as in the same level of my maturity, age, knowledge, etc., approximately, it enthuses me to stretch a little further to be a better me. And if I use the race for that, I don't think it's rat race. In fact, that race is preferable. That race, let me call it as a lion's race. Okay, I, I and my parents ideally shouldn't really bother about how I fare vis-a-vis others. Okay, I think myself and all my people around me who care for me need to look at: am I giving the best in form of efforts? Am I really stretching my limits, or am I just creating an artificial limit for myself and say that's it? You see, and I think race is very important because it helps me to stretch, it helps me to check, it helps me to expand a little bit so that I can give a little better results compared to what I gave last time. And in that way, I think race is very important, spardha is very important, or competition is very important as a student so that you can challenge yourself to be a better you. And when it becomes mainly comparative with others, when it becomes how do I get into the mainstream narrative of this is what success is, then we get into a trouble, and maybe that's where the rat race is. And the rat race is not out there, race is out there. The rat or a lion is right within you, right within me. With the same race, I can be a lion, you see, and I can be a rat. So there is no point trying to throw the blame on, say, society or the school system or education system. This is the system I have, which is forcing me to run a race, but it cannot force me to run a race like a rat or like a lion. That's up to me to choose. And if I run the race as a lion, I'm using the system, which may still be faulty, which may still be fixable in future, but that's not my job right now. My job is how do I make this race something which benefits me? How do I not get into the trap of trying to compete against others rather than competing with others so that I I improve, or I give out the best which is possible by me. See? And I think for that reason, race is very important. It's a beautiful mirror which tells me exactly where I stand. And that report I should use to check what was my report earlier, check my own efforts, do a little bit of a self check, saying that maybe I need to focus a little bit on practice, or maybe I need a little help on understanding these things, or maybe I need to focus on these things which are my strengths, or maybe these are the subjects which I need to focus on, or maybe I will focus on something which I'm more passionate about. Generally, I think in 8th grade, people make this common mistake of trying to shy away from weak subjects rather than trying to focus more on a strong subject. You see, generally people say, I don't think I'm very good in math, so let me try to find some course which does not include math. I think that's not a very right approach to planning the future. Rather find out what energizes you, right? Rather find out what actually you are naturally good at. Try to strengthen that, and try to see if you can have the bare minimum of all other subjects which you may or may not think we don't know, think that I am not very good at, etc. And try to be a better you is what the whole race is all about. So the race is there, it is given, you can't escape it, and I'm happy that there is a race there. Once we become a lion in the race, which means that I'm not a rat always compares. A rat always, that's why you say he ratted out on me and all that stuff, which is jealousy, which is, all this cheap stuff. We can choose to be a lion there, saying that I want to run with the best, not to better them, but to better me. And that's the opportunity we have in this wonderful system of your schooling. And I think don't take rat race as a given. The moment you say it is a rat race, then you already gave up on the lion, and you are playing the game there. And remember one more thing: this is the age where everything is manipulated. Nothing is as it seems. Everybody wants to put on a mask of "I am really doing great" in Facebook. You see, so don't just go by the looks. Nothing is as it seems. And remember, everybody has to undergo hardships. Everybody has their two sides of life. And the reason why I'm telling you that is you are not alone in your struggle. You see, everybody is struggling. Struggling is something which is common to the entire human population. And so don't think I'm singled out. I think I am the only one struggling. I don't think so. Everybody is struggling. I used to give an example. My first math paper in engineering, it was truly very difficult. I think those papers, if I give it to my own professor, I'm not very sure they would have solved it. So almost all of us were like blinking in the whole paper, and we had no idea what has been asked. And I looked at it, I was crestfallen until I came out of the room and saw that all my so-called intelligent batchmates were also crestfallen. And then I was no longer crestfallen. In fact, I felt very cheerful. I said, Acha, you are facing the same challenge as I am. Then I'm fine. I'm not like an odd man out here. So like that, don't go by the looks. Don't go by the flashy reports people generally, post. Some of them, I don't mean to say all of them, but don't go by that. Everybody has their own pluses and minuses. Like we struggle with a lot of things in life. Everybody needs to struggle. And so don't feel singled out that I think I'm the only one struggling. No. Once you realize it's a universal phenomena, you'll get the strength. And so I would request you be a lion. Enjoy the race. Use the race as a wonderful way to see if you can challenge yourself, get a little more energy, to put a little more effort. And generally, I'm not very, results are not primary. They are merely a marker, a milestone for me to adjust the rest of my journey. And so if you look at results alone, it's a rat race. If you look at the race to improve your efforts, it's a lion's race. And we all need a lion's race. And we can't be in isolation. It won't bring out the best in us. And so enjoy the race. But to be a rat or a lion is truly up to you. If you are clear about the purpose, that this is why I want to, do what I'm doing, then you can never be a rat. You'll always be a lion only. Purpose or clarity of purpose empowers you to become a lion. And so all the very best on that. So don't try to, sort of lose energy in the rat race. It's not a rat race. It's just a race. It's up to you to be a rat or a lion. And knowing that most of our families are in satsang, I'm sure parents would be very supportive of you being a lion. And that would make you tremendously strong as you grow further, as race is going to be there till the last breath of our lives in some way or the other. But we can be a lion in that race and not a rat, you see, and improve ourselves, learn from our mistakes, learn from others' mistakes, learn from others' successes, and try to be a better me. The me today should be a little better than me yesterday, and I've lived my life for a day perfectly.